Sure.
You want to get like one last palate cleanse? Well, I'll wet my whistle. Me.
I clipped. All right.
Hello, everybody. It's week 10 of, I don't know anymore.
We think it's week 10.
Carol Worldwide.
It's 48.
Carol Worldwide.
Yes.
That's what we're going with.
It's got to be.
Universal.
Whew. Okay, well, we're worldwide now, and we are encompassing everything and anything with the most tenuous connection to Carroll County on the internet.
Yes, we are.
And in real life, I guess. And Randy, it seemed like you were very excited to get into it this week.
I'm very excited.
Very excited.
Turgid with excitement.
You were like Johnny on the spot with real news today, like on the Westminster Online community. Like you were breaking news.
Yes, with the bank robbery causing the schools to get closed down, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, I was all over that. But that was...
I think you're probably a hero. Thank you for your service.
You know, you're welcome. But I did what anybody else would have done.
Which is posted on Facebook.
Yes, exactly, from my desk, safely.
How many likes did you get?
I don't know. I ended up deleting it because the schools were no longer on lockdown, and I thought it was no longer relevant, and it can only go downhill
So
from
you
there.
lost all those likes?
I lost them all.
How are you going to sleep at night not knowing that you're liked?
I don't know, like every other night, I guess.
So what else do you have besides the fact that you are in the news today?
Well, the biggest story probably is the infamous Westminster West Middle Year Book Scandal going around, and it's not so much It's not so much. You didn't hear about this?
Of course not.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, there's West Middle and East Middle. You know, the various middle schools around.
Maybe.
Maybe because
I'm familiar with the directions of West and East.
He knows that public schools exist.
Yes. So anyway, West Middle. The bottom line is their yearbook came out with a misspelling on the cover. Westminster was spelled Westminister.
That's
an easy thing to do.
Can I also admit that I kept reading the little keychain over and over again, thinking there was some problem and key to success, and it wasn't until probably minutes into it that I was like, oh right, it's not Westminster.
Right. Well, the bottom line is, let me just get this out first. It was the publisher's fault. It wasn't the school or the kids or the teacher's fault. They had it right when they got it back. It was wrong from the production company. They had to get it out to the parents. It was too late, so they just decided to go for it. It was a small mistake. They didn't think it would blow up on social media the way it did. A friend of mine...
And here we are talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, it got all the way up to Carol Worldwide. So a friend of mine posted it just on her page and said, look what happened. And then some guy who's friends with her, who I believe is no longer friends with her, took the picture and posted it on Westminster Online with the caption, something like, these are our educators, blaming this.
I see, yes.
But then what happened? Now that's it. It was a small mistake. It wasn't the end of the world. This guy stole it from her.
Wait, is the world still here, or is this lost right now? Because if the world ended,
right, it
was the end of the world.
So it's obvious, it's not the end of the world.
Or it's a really badly written season. And the season of life has been pretty badly written, so I don't know anymore.
So what happened was interesting. The story around the story got way more interesting than the actual mistake because it's split up into two camps. As you know, this usually happens. Some people were saying, well, these students don't know what they're doing. These educators they're making these mistakes. These are where our taxpayers are going. Our tax money is going. Excuse me. Yeah. Wow, that was big.
Well,
deep.
We can cut that out,
right? Man.
Okay.
Nope.
This is where our tax money is going. Some people were like, this is where our tax money is going. These kids aren't learning, or teachers are stupid, blah, blah, blah. And then another wave of people came in going, look, if you have all this time on your hands to complain about these little mistakes in these yearbooks, you need something better to do. But then I'm thinking, don't the complainers have something better to do than to complain about the complainers?
Amen.
So it becomes this circular reference that is just infinite of people complaining about who has enough time on their hands. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think my big takeaway from this and everything else is that we hate children. The number one posts are always wagging your finger at kids. That is the core message here. People resent young people. People think they're not pulling their weight, as if a middle schooler ought to be pulling their weight. And finally, it wasn't even their fault. But fake news alert, like everyone just wants to dogpile on that narrative.
Yes.
Like if you think about like the biggest discussions that have been generated, 40% of them are about like some youngsters not living up to like these standards that are out there. I think it's a sad commentary in general. Everyone's so quick to point the finger at kids because who's raising these kids?
That's right.
Right? They don't just
Absolutely.
they're not like Zeus where you pull them out of like you don't pull these people fully formed out of someone's head. They're raised, and the people who are complaining are the parents in the community who are responsible for their upbringing. It just makes me sad.
And who is raising them? The internet.
No, it's parents. It's parents who are commenting on Facebook instead of like teaching their kids something, right? I mean, because like that's the thing. Who gives out participation trophies?
I just haven't thought
Not
about
the kids. Who gives out? Kids don't give out participation trophies. They get them from a bunch of parents who complain about their participation trophies.
It's true.
This is what I'm talking about. It's just circling the drain.
Circling the drain. I do think that typo is hilarious. I think that it like makes the yearbook infinitely better that there's a typo, right? Like if you're like 35 or 40 and you're looking back at this yearbook, like get a load of this. This like my whole small town was talking about it for like a week. That's a little funnier than just being like, yeah, here's another Westminister yearbook that will like inevitably
where
never
Westminster
be discussed.
spelled correctly.
Uninteresting.
Who
Yeah.
needs another yearbook where Westminster is spelled correctly?
Right.
There are a variety of ways to misspell that too, but it's interesting. So thank you for sharing. I'm just still stuck on the Zeus and pulling a kid out of your head thing.
That's
I
how,
hadn't
like,
thought about that for
Greek
quite a
myth.
while.
But I mean, that's the thing. Is like you had the story about the lady who was complaining about kids talking at a prompt care, like a healthcare place.
Right.
You've
we
got
we
kid-
covered that one in depth,
Right.
actually.
The dumpster kids.
Yes, dumpster
like,
diving and it's dangerous.
it's just like the easiest way to do it is to wag your fingers at someone under 22 years old, and then everyone crawls out of the woodwork as if they're so superior by having been born a different decade.
Yep.
Guess what? You're not. Come at me, bros.
So what else we have here this week in Universal Westminster? Carol?
Well, on the Berg, the official Eldersburg page, and this was posted and then deleted, but you can run, but you can't hide, from Carol Worldwide, because I saved a screenshot of it.
Rhymes.
Yeah.
That's right, we're wrapping now.
And I'm sure that was completely extemporaneous.
Yes.
It was, right off the top of my head. Is that what extemporaneous means?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do a vocab corner over here.
That was very resplendent of you. That means beautiful, I think. So.
It's good vocab.
So she writes, so when did first graders start learning about this in Carroll County? I am livid.
Damn it, it's kids again!
It was. It's kids again. And it was a worksheet where kids had to identify a hookah, a cigarette, first graders, dip, skull, cigarettes, pipes, etc., etc. And there was a word search for vices. Like the word search had things like whiskey, beer, walk of shame, things like that they want to avoid. But what people pointed out to her was the worksheet was to contrast that against things that are good for you, like exercise, church.
Walk of Shame was
Play
a
ball.
first grader worksheet?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
I don't even know if I buy this story, first of all. Secondly, I think they could up their game. Where was freebasing? Where was intravenous drug use?
5th grade.
Flop house. Like, there's just a lot of things that aren't being covered here.
What even is a flop house?
Tell
Take
us.
a drug den, flop house, just like an abandoned place. You just like go to whatever, shoot up, have premarital sex, whatever the bad things are, de jure.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what happened on the Berg.
I mean, we live very close to Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Home of the Wire. Why didn't we have a little bit of heroin reference in here? These educators need to get educated on drug use.
Well, the Berg, I don't think is as heroin-centric as Westminster is.
Oh, I've quit my intravenous drug use, so I don't know where to get the good scores these days.
Well, did you hear the guy that had the little barbecue place in the corner there on corner of Bond and Main?
Yes.
Yeah.
He made a public thing on Westminster Online that he was closing down because of all the drug activity around his place. Mm-hmm. And then we were talking about it today on there, and somebody came up with a brilliant idea. And if you are hearing me, owners of Rock Salt, turn that into a Rock Salt carry-out shack. Anybody against that? No. Unanimous. Another lawyer term. Write that down.
I thought you were going to say turn it into like a drug kiosk.
No, I'm
You
not
just
for that.
just have people peddle the drugs right there. We get it out of the dealer's hands. We put it in a respectable kiosk.
I mean, to me, they're one and the same because those rockfish bites are like drugs to me.
Yeah, that's true. They are your drug.
Yes.
Keep you going.
They do. I have done some disgusting things for those.
We don't want to talk about those. We don't want to get your family all upset.
I think the audience really does.
So what other things have kids done terribly in Carroll County recently? Because this time they learned stuff they shouldn't have learned.
They did. They learned about their vices.
So that what was the like? Did we ever come to a conclusion about what happened there? Like,
Well, I think the conclusion was it was to compare about the good things that are good for you versus things that are bad for you. But this woman just didn't want them learning about cigarettes and hookahs in the first place at all as a first grader.
Walk of Shame is a real interesting one to include.
Yeah.
That's real funny to me. But not as good as some of the ones
Every
I would
first grader
include.
should know what that is.
Yeah. Oh man, look at those heels at 9 a.m. Boom. We gotta learn about our patriarchal culture real fast right here.
Yeah.
There was I know we don't typically delve into politics, but there is a candidate for school board whose platform is that we need to stop having our schools be a camp of liberal indoctrination, which was an interesting platform.
Are they though?
Well, I don't have a child in public school right now, so you can tell me, like, have your children burned bras, joined Al-Qaeda, done any of the normal teenage liberal indoctrination
Mine have, but
things?
they're homeschooled, so that's a little bit different.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Yours are off. You know, you can do tried and true American things in homeschool, but
No, my kids are both really into accountability, so
that's pretty conservative.
I guess they failed. I guess the public school system has failed them, and it's their fault. My kids' fault, of course.
That's good. I'm glad they know that they're always at fault.
No, they know because they have accountability. I just confused myself.
So do we have a poll this week for like the work?
I think we got more
should
topics. Stop rushing
work-
us.
Yeah. I mean, how deep are we into this?
Well, it depends on how much of the pre-show we cut off, but the timer right now is actually at 16 minutes. So.
Wow.
Well, let's go through your topics. Let's do it. Don't you have more topics?
Okay, go.
Well, there's another Eldersburg group, not the official one, but there's one that's run by a couple of ladies, like from Reisterstown in Columbia. But it's I know.
Carpetbaggers?
I guess.
Oh, man.
Or muckrakers?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out legal terms
Yeah.
now. I don't know what they mean. But there was a woman on there who was posting that she was in shock trauma for, I think, a week or something. Like, nobody's in shock trauma this long. And that she had a paper script for a certain drug. It may have been an opioid. She wanted to know who would fill it. So she was basically looking for a shady pharmacist to fill a paper script.
Or a flop house.
Or a flop house for a drug that by law has to be filled by an electronic request by a doctor, not paper.
Oh, so that's the
I
problem.
see.
So again, it spilled into two camps. Now this was given to me by a screenshot by somebody who was undercover in this group, because this group is such a train wreck. I'm not in the group. I left the group a year ago.
So you left, you weren't kicked out?
No.
Just to be clear.
I left. Me and like 3 other people left. I'm usually kicked out.
Major exodus.
Yeah.
You all really took them to task.
Yes, we did. We showed them. We just stopped.
But you got a screenshot of the post from
The guy sent it to me, and he said, "This is what you're missing." And half, of course, 2 camps. Half of them were trying to help her and named some specific person in Walmart, the specific name that would fill this prescription, and the others were like, "You can't do that. You're trying to get opioids," and et cetera, et cetera. And nobody deleted the post; it just stayed up there. That's what's happening in that group.
I wonder how that Walmart employee is doing right now.
Yeah.
Well, if they were illegally filling paper prescriptions, they're probably very nervous.
Yeah.
If I were them, but they may not. Maybe they're blissfully unaware of this being the subject of this maelstrom.
Might be very busy right now.
Or they might be very
Walmart
busy.
being the bastion of class and integrity.
That's true.
I'm sure.
That's true. Well, I guess it was a busy week. I mean, I was going to talk about there's still peacocks running around, but I feel like you got better stuff than that. But
The peacock's pretty good.
peacocks don't move the meter for me, but that's just because I had a strange upbringing where there's peacocks in the neighborhood. So
And various people posted different pictures of the peacock in front of different houses.
So
So,
it's
like-
definitely getting around.
Yeah.
well, not all of us have a stuffed peacock, but there's one piece of unfinished business before we sign off. What was your wolf's name?
Oh, the wolf's name. I told you it's going to be very
Okay,
anticlimactic.
stop. Just tell us.
Joshua.
Joshua the wolf. Okay, great.
No, that's good. That's not anticlimactic. If you were going to say Wolfie, because your other animals were named eponymously, remember?
Right, yes. I was trying to remember that word when we were doing the little vocab lesson before. Well, Pretty was the peacock and Josh is the wolf. So there you have it.
You did not get the wolf stuffed.
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of. That's a very weasel answer. Your parents have that hidden in the basement for a big party one day. Okay, well, I guess that's all this week, right?
That's it. That's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
All right, I'm Dennis Twig.
As usual.
I'm Randy Goldstein.
I'm Steve Lowe.
See you later.
Later.